Talon Gossip Talkshow's family is Namsa here at Gossip Talkshow's family and voice lead from within. So with me today, I am with Carol Ann. How are you, Carol Ann?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
So our topic today is breaking barriers, navigating change and fixing mindset. Wow. Change is inevitable, yet in a world where we fix mindset dominate, breaking through limitation can feel impossible. Many people resist the transformation, holding on onto old beliefs and fears. However, growth and success demand adaptability. So today we're going to share the guide that is designed to help you break barriers, challenges, rigid thinking, and navigating change with confidence, whether you are facing personal concerns, career shifts, or societal expectations. So let's dive into the topic. Before we get into the topic, Carol Ann chose this topic, and what was on your mind, Carol Ann?
Um, I was, I've been filling out a form with some questions somebody was asking. So I've got an opportunity for all my details to be featured on someone else's website, and it's something that she offers to other people. She likes putting featuring people on her website. And there's a whole list of questions, and one of them was about a challenge that I perhaps had in the past, and how would I, what advice would I sort of give to that younger me or about that challenge? And I'd already thought about something, but then as I was working through it yesterday, I had a thought about when I attempted to bring brain gym into teaching, when I first trained in it, and I took it back into the classroom and I took it back to the school and found this enormous mountain of resistance. And I started thinking there's probably still an element of me who is sitting there going, oh, what do I do? Because it can be quite daunting. And when you find something new and you have a system that is rigid in its thinking and its mindset and has a fixed ways of doing things, it can be quite daunting and quite off-putting to attempt to bring in the changes. So I just put the idea into chat and came up with this title. And I thought, yeah, it is about the sort of breaking the barriers. It is about how do you navigate those changes in a fixed mindset world. I realized the same with my business. People have heard that I used to be a maths teacher, and now I'm working with people, with writers, helping them move through writer's block. So I must be an English teacher. It's like, no. So it's this fixed mindset. And I'm, again, realizing I'm struggling in what I do to help people realize what it is I do that it's different. And so it is being able to shift those mindsets. How do you do it? So I thought that'd be great topic to explore. Because not only that, when you think about relationships and you think about marriage, that's quite an institution. And a lot of people have like a fixed mindset about what marriage is or what relationships are and how they should be. And things have changed over the years, So how do we navigate those changes when there are these fixed mindsets? It's so rigid. So what are your thoughts, Namsa?
I like that when you say actually how do you fix that? How do you fix that fixed mindset where like for me, I you are a math tutor because I so understand that I live with my children. My children are good in mathematics.
What?
So
Sorry, I didn't quite get the last word.
they are good in mathematics,
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you. But at the same time, if they're artists, they like writing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I can relate with you. So to me, a mathematics teacher, it means creativity. So that's how I relate to it. It means creativity, it means you are an artist, basically. So you go to this different range because you have to use it. For mathematics, you have to use your brain to think, to create, you got to put things together. So I don't struggle. For me, like when you say, Nomsa, this is what I do, like writer's block. To me, it's like, you're one of them. Because I can relate to my children. You are one of them. Because my children are good with arts. Like they're good in mathematics and they're good with art. They love writing. They love dancing, they love acting. It's all to do with the creativity. So you're basically an artist. But
Okay.
somebody will struggle. Anyone who does not understand it will struggle when they meet you. They will struggle, but for me, it's very straightforward. So when you say, like, I used to be a math tutor, I'm like, she's one of them.
She's one of them. She's one
Yeah.
of them. Oh God, I'm one of them.
She's one of them. Yeah. Yeah. Just remember that Nomsa says I'm one of them.
I'm one of them.
The
Yeah,
creativity.
okay.
Because you have to be really creative. Mathematics means writing. Any kind of writing, any kind of like artist. Because it's all brain, engineer. Your brain is like an engineer. So you can qualify to be an engineer, you qualify to be anything. So to other people, they will struggle when they relate to you, but to me, I'm like, okay. Pero put you in the group of one of those.
Okay, yes. The the thing is, when I'm saying that most people think, oh, I must be now an English teacher, is that they expect to be told what they need to write, or they expect that I'm going to teach them as they would be taught in school how to write and what to write. That's not what I do. And okay, I used to be a maths teacher, so there was obviously to teach them, I'd have to share techniques with them and logic. But there was an element when I used to teach of getting them to think through for themselves as well, talk them through a problem. But it was when I found Brain Gym, which are activities that help take away the stress of learning, and they're part of educational kinesiology, which is about re-educating the body to move in a more efficient way. I found that it seemed that took the lid off the ceiling that I always used to find with my students. I used to be able to get so far, but then there was this stuckness that I couldn't seem to get them through. And doing Brain Gym took that lid off and helped them to be able to sort out the answers for themselves. I remember having a top set year 11 group, which were 15, 16-year-olds about to sit their GCSEs. And they had been working through past papers, and they were a really bright group and had a lot of ability. But a lot of them seemed to want me to hold their hand. They kept not having the confidence to do it, try it out for themselves. And I'd say to them, I can't sit with you in the exam and prompt you, give you prompts or talk you through. And this one day that after I'd found Brain Gym, I decided to do the four Brain Gym activities with them. And I spent quite a bit of time going through these four activities. And afterwards, with the 20 minutes of the lesson that we had left, they did far more in that time than than the lesson we'd done earlier that day, which was a 40-minute lesson. It was unbelievable. And I was actually just asking them a question if they got a bit stuck, and they go, oh yeah, got it. And they were able to move themselves forward. And that was, for me, the power of it. But that didn't get through to the head teacher or some of the parents, but it was the head teacher. He sort of had me up in his office saying, you can't spend all that time, you're supposed to be revising with them. They're supposed to be going through they've got to keep going through the papers and working through it. And I'm thinking, I could not get through to this man the power of spending time doing some brain gym activities, and how much less time they spent struggling, and got so much more done. And so, yeah, it was hard. And I think that's the what's the word? The struggle, isn't it? When you've got something new, it's being able to show it to people that have got a fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is that you have to keep doing practice, practice, practice. Well, actually, practice only makes permanent the wrong way of doing it. So you have to find ways of being able to shift your thinking, open up your thinking. And then you can practice, because you've then got the right way of doing it. And that's what then makes perfect. What are you
Yeah,
hearing in that?
yeah, you're right, Carol. When you have a fixed mindset, you have to keep practicing it, and also you need to have that person that pushes you to one thing, that believes in you as well. Because when you talk about the student, how you use your brain gene to help them get to where they need to be, but the other teacher wasn't happy, is you giving them time, like letting them know that it's okay. There are other ways of learning things without getting frustrated. Because we all different, we all learn different as well. Some people, when they have a fixed mindset, uh, they can actually not wanting to do things due to negative thoughts and negative self-talk and limiting beliefs. But when you have tutors, like you have the teachers that really dedicate their time to say it's okay to be different, it's okay if you have a fixed mindset, but you can break out of it by doing these little things and showing you that you can do this, you can do that, you can do that. And that makes a big difference. It makes a big, big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's understanding really what causes a fixed mindset. I mean, one of the things is actually the fear of the unknown. It feels risky, and they're afraid that perhaps it's going to disrupt everything. Well, I know for that headmaster, it was too risky. The school was in special measures. He had a set agenda to get this school out of special measures and, improve. So to him, it was too risky. He couldn't really listen to what I was saying or even take on board anything that I explained to him. But I wasn't able to explain either. I somehow couldn't. Yeah, in those days, it was just like, mind you, this was in 1999. So this is 26 years ago. Things have moved on slightly. There is things are opening up more, but yeah, it's so, if you come across someone with a fixed mindset, it's understanding where's their fixed mindset coming from, what's the fear that is actually driving them. Because if you can address the fear, so if I could actually have addressed his fear of it being too risky, maybe he would have been able to hear me and be with me and move, allow me, even though I did still do it. Because the pupils, the pupils that understood the difference it made for them, they said yes, they wanted to do it. So I did. The other pupils, I said, okay, if you don't want to do it, just get on with your work. I gave them some work to do, and that was fine. Because what I actually found was, even though we did those 4 active brain gym activities at the beginning of each lesson, those that didn't want to do them got on with working through their past papers. It still knocked onto them. That's the magic of you shifting, everyone else shifts. You open up some other perspectives and calmness and ways of thinking, and it just goes with the whole group. So that was the magic of it. So I still did it because the pupils wanted to do it and they understood the benefit. So yeah, I was a little bit rebellious. But for me, it was about the pupils and helping them to get through. But so it's understanding the fears that someone with a fixed mindset has got. And if you can address those fears, you've got a far better chance of getting them on board and making your own life easier and not having to be quite so rebellious. Yeah. You're muted, Namsa.
I like it when you say, first you have to understand the cause of fixed mindset. I think it's really, really, really important when you're doing something to actually get to the roots of the problem. Sometimes it could be our childhood, or it could be the things that were said to us that makes us feel that we are not worthy, we are not good enough. So as long we do understand that we are good enough, and we understand that we can do the things that we want to do in life, I think that is really, really important. So all those things that they play a big part when it comes to the mindset and stuff. And knowing that we are good enough, and also surrounding ourselves with people that believes in us, because you'll be surprised, like one word, like what the people say to you, the things that comes to your ears, how they can make a really, really a big difference into your life. So I think that those things are really, really, really important. And or sometimes if people say negative things, we can find ourselves with the big mountain, like you said from the beginning, on. So it's really, really important to understand how fixed mindset can affect our decisions and our action at the same time. I've hang out with people that have a fixed mindset, and they expect me, because I hang out with them, I've got to be in a certain way. But I'm like, I can't be like that. Or like sometimes I'm a matchmaker, and sometimes the people will be like, would you like to come and do this business and stuff? But first, I can't say no. I have to ask the questions. What does the business entail? And things like that. But if I see that it's something that is out of my, like, it's not what I will do, I'm like, no, thank you. It's not for me. So all these things about, I'm always like, I want to know what's for anything that is presented to me. I always want to see if I can do it and things like that. I know I'm a matchmaker, I'm a speaker, I do this, I do things like that. But I do things best in that range of my talent. If I have to go out in comfort zone, that would be maybe investing money and things like that, or other things that I know there are some things that are not for me. So I think it's really, really important to, yeah.
Because I'm here, because you're around matchmaking, and I'm just wondering if you've come across in setting up your business some fixed mindsets around how you should run your business or how matchmaking should be run.
I think for me, when I started my business, it was so good because I had already begun my journey with the matchmaking, with the personal development. and I had already begun my journey with God as well. So what I do is, if someone tells me this is what I need to do, I always go to God as well to confirm, am I doing the right thing?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also surrounded. Also, I was lucky when my business began. I had this business very pushing. It pushes people to get
Yeah.
out of their comfort zone. So I think having those people around me, it helped me to actually not to get comfortable. I don't remember in my business getting comfortable
Okay.
because of the people that are around involved in the business.
Mm.
So they will not allow me to get comfortable. They will always challenge me.
But they were listening to you, that they took on board how you wanted to run your business, or
Yeah,
they
yeah.
helped you, rather than, you know, someone who is completely against your ideas and maybe had a fixed idea. No, this is the only way you should run a
Oh
matchmaking
no,
business.
no, I've never experienced that. I've
No.
always, I think Des is a very uses psychology with his coaching. Like he wants you to bring the ideas to him, and
Hmm.
he will fix those ideas to make them perfect.
Right. So
But
it helps make them work.
yeah, he wants your voice.
Yes. Yeah.
Everything that he did, he used to say, even if it does not make sense, I'll make it make sense
Mm.
as
Mm.
long as your voice.
Yeah.
So I've been very lucky. Even the people, the matchmaking as well, because I work with the Matchmaking Institute as well.
Hmm.
So they want you to bring your own voice. They will direct you to the right direction, but at the same time, you
Mm.
have a final say in that. I've never worked with someone that really want me to just listen to them. I've
No.
never been in that situation. Even with Sai, it's
Mm.
all about my voice. You do the finish line.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's lovely, because, you know, you're being listened to and understood,
Yeah,
and helped along the way. And the thing is, a lot of people, it might be in their own job or within their family, that because they found something new. And this is the thing, you find something new, you find a better way of perhaps moving forward within something that was traditional, or those traditional ways of doing things, and or the way someone else has maybe set something up, and you perhaps have got an idea of how you could make it, help them make it better, but they're stuck. It's got to be this way or the highway, you know. And so it is being able to find somebody who can support you. So if you are in that scenario where you're in an institute or some workplace, it's finding a few people that actually are willing to listen to you and being able to work with them and get them to speak with you and for you. And that's maybe what I didn't do enough of, because I did find parents who were willing to allow their child to do brain gym and for me to work with them. But I never really utilized that or got them to speak out or got, say, testimonials. And I think this is where business owners, you can get that's where the testimonials come in, and are, you know, someone else is speaking on your behalf and can actually show the benefits. And it's not about what you're doing, it's actually going back to the fact it's the benefits of what you're doing. It was nothing to do with about I was using brain gym. It was just a different method of supporting pupils in achieving the grades that they could possibly achieve, you know, that going beyond where they thought they could get and really opening up their true potential. And this is something for a business. If you're in a business and you're a bit stuck, you've got some ideas and you're up against this, you know, it's a mountain of resistance. Um, there's a lovely other phrase, like a sea of thought that's in it completely against you, you know, and it can help make you feel a bit alone and lonely. And it's actually, being misunderstood is one of the deepest human pains. So it's recognizing that actually what happens, you sort of can shut off, you can start doubting yourself. And this is where you need to get support, which is like you had NOMSA with your business. You actually had that, somebody who was championing you, championing, I can't get the word out. You know what I mean? Being a champion for you and helping you move forward and really get your business so that it was formed in a way that worked and was successful and could grow and evolve. And the thing is, you need to be able to grow and evolve. And change is important for you to be able to evolve. You know, I've got a lovely quote that said, progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. So if you've got someone with a fixed mindset, how can we work with them? How can we work with them, Nomsa? What do you reckon?
Working with someone with a fixed mindset, from the beginning, we have to really understand the roots of that mindset. Why do they think the way they think without judging them, obviously? And I find that sometimes when you try to get someone, get to know them, they can feel your energy. If you're truly helping them out and you're truly going from the bottom of your heart and you're not judging them, you communicate with them, asking questions, like their childhood, their parents, and the things they love to do. And I find that sometimes it does help when someone has a fixed mindset. They're like, oh, I never thought of that. I never thought things that way. I get my clients all the time. They come to me, sometimes they have this, they think in marriage is this, a relationship is that. And then when they do come and then you have a conversation with them without trying to change their mindset, and they're like, oh, I never thought about that part or that mindset. That sounds good. And I'm like, yeah, it is good. Yeah, I think it's just giving someone freedom that it's okay to explore. It's okay to make mistakes because mostly, like you said, the total is fear. Fear of the unknown is the
Yeah.
biggest problem around people. People, they like to know what is going on. When you speak to people, like they're scared,
Yeah.
taking risks. But if you ask any successful person, they'll tell you that I didn't need to know what's going to happen tomorrow. I just needed to make a decision. A decision, and that led to success.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know what
it
you
is
think.
about, it's not making them wrong, isn't it? It is,
Yeah.
as you say, get to the roots of what has them have that mindset. Where does it come from? And help to sort of open up possibility within them, help them to see that something else is possible. But it isn't forcing them to. It isn't, you can't, someone with a fixed mindset, actually trying to force them, it doesn't work. So getting to that root cause, what has them be of that mindset. And it could be there's a power structures or ego in there. Maybe they were the leaders that set up the company or the business, and they built their success within a certain framework. And you're now trying to change that framework. You're now actually it's coming over that you're making them wrong, or you know that framework's doesn't work. But actually they were successful within that framework. What they're not realizing is that actually if they slightly tweaked the framework or something within it, they could be even more successful. But they feel like if they say yes to another way or something that seems better, they're actually saying that, oh, ours was wrong. But that's not what it's about. So
No.
again, it's that mindset. It's opening up to a different way of looking at it. So being able to see where they're coming from. So if they are coming from someone who set it up, who created it, and they got, you know, it worked, but you can actually see how by tweaking it in a certain way or doing something else will help improve it. And you need to keep growing. They say change is the only constant. And life changes, as we found when we had COVID and all of a sudden this lockdown. How many businesses just stopped overnight? The in-person workshops, you know, and personal development business, that just completely halted. So they had to change. They had to adapt, find another way, another structure, another framework within which they could do their business. And that's by moving online, that shifted everything and opened up a whole other platform and another way of being successful. But if you're sitting with, oh, I can't do my business, I can't do my, you know, I can't do in-person workshops, I can't do it now, that fixed mindset is not going to get you anywhere. And somebody saying, oh, go online. Oh, I don't like going online. No, don't like Zoom. I can't do it, can't do it. Then you're not going to do it. I can't doesn't get you anywhere. How could I opens up possibility. If you don't know, then you can find someone to teach you. You know? And so it's about braving it, taking the bull by the horns and saying, okay, I'm a bit scared, but let's go for it. Let's go for it. How could this possibly help me? Maybe it could improve things. You know, it's just being open. So there's that quote, isn't there, that minds are like a parachute. They only works when open. So if your mind isn't open, it's not working. And it is important. So, you know, ask questions. Ask, how can we open it up, but get people around you to support you? And there are people that are willing. There are people that are open. And if you can't find them, then I would actually say, how about working on your own closed mindset about people that might be there, willing, with an open mindset around what you do? I just had that thought. It's like, oh, yes. Look at yourself. Because once you change and shift your mindset to going, well, maybe there are people that are open, then they'll come into your life.
Yeah, I was buying, I like the way when you say have an open mindset. I was buying something yesterday, and there's this brand that I'm familiar. Me, I just like a Samsung.
Okay. Yeah.
Honestly, my tablets, everything, my gadgets is Samsung. So
Mm.
when I was like buying the phone, so I was like, I think I need to change. I need to be open to other brands.
Okay.
I don't have to have a
Yeah.
Samsung. So I was like, I need to be open to other brands. So I ended up looking at other
Mm-hmm.
brand as well. But I still keep my Samsung. So I was like, let me be open and have a look at it and see what others have to offer. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
they have good stuff as well. So I need to be open and not to be like to be fixed with this is what I like.
Mm.
So which is hard. I used to like Apple. It's easy. I
Okay.
feel it's easy to use. So I like it when you say have an open mindset. So yeah, I had to go through that
Mm.
yesterday when I was talking to the guy, and he was like, "Yeah, we have this product, but I realize I'm actually stuck in Samsung, so I needed to look at other options as well." So yeah, having a
Mm.
fixed mindset is it's not that is bad. It's not bad, but you just have to. I used to have a fixed mindset. Once you break it, you break it. There is no turning back. There is no turning
Yeah.
back. Honestly, yeah, I like it, Carol Ann, when you
Mm.
say be open to things and stuff. So yeah,
Mm.
and it's mostly rewriting your history, rewriting things. That is getting out of that fixed mindset, learning to rewrite everything you do, if it
Mm.
is rewriting. So for
Yeah.
me, that's what I,
I like that, rewriting it. It's rewriting your story because it's like, what story are you constantly telling yourself?
yeah.
What story are you constantly telling the world?
Oh, I used to tell myself loads of lies. I'm not good enough.
But they were the truth for you at that time. They were
It
your truth at that time,
made
you
me
know.
feel comfortable.
Yes, it made it feel right. It's like, okay, this is my story. This is so true. Well, actually, is it the truth? And once you start challenging that, it can feel a bit, ooh,
Yeah,
wobbly and disconcerting. But when you can stay open to it and just say, okay, is this actually the truth? Or is it a story that I no longer want to buy into? Whether it's the truth or not, just let it go and create another story for myself. Because it's all stories, you know? So if you want to achieve something that you weren't able to achieve before, look at the stories you've been telling yourself in the world. And then what story could you start telling the world? What, as you say, rewrite your story. I love that. Absolutely. And you have the power to do that. You so have the power to do that. And you can ask for support along the way. You can put up those prayers and say, Lord, guide me, please guide me, show me what is the story I need to be saying now, or could I be saying, and how could I, or this is the story I want to now say, help me achieve it. Be proactive in your own story. Don't let the whole universe decide for you. You can perhaps put some decision in there yourself. You don't have to settle for what has been. You can create a new. And that is scary because it means stepping out of what you know. It's stepping out of that identity, who you know yourself to be. So, yes, it can feel like you're erasing that identity. It worked up to a point. Is it going to get you where you want to? That's the question. Will having this identity get me where I want to be? Will having this story get me where I want to be? So, how can I change it? What can I change? Who can I get to help me? That's the question. We're here. We can help you. Reach out. What else do you
yeah,
think?
you have to. I like when you say step out of your comfort zone. When you say the story that step out of the unknown and make a decision,
Mm.
and the stories that we tell ourselves, just rewrite them, because at the end of the day, Carol Ann, we are writers of our destiny with God. I always say to people, like, sometimes I meet parents and they tell me that, oh, my daughter, she's not good enough for this, she's not cut out for this. So I'm like, how do you know if your child? And they're like, I just know. I'm like, no, you don't.
Mm.
Because for me, I live with my children. I allow my children to be who God wants them to be. Sometimes I push them, they don't like it, My oldest, she's like, wow. She's like, why is this one allowed to do this? I was never allowed to do this. I was never allowed to make choices. I was like, no, that's not like that. You are allowed to make choices, but once you make choices, there's no turning back. Because these kids, they make a decision, and then a year later, or 2 years later, come out. They want to do something else because their friend is doing something else. I tell you something, what my daughter said yesterday, 2 days ago. I always say to her, friends come and go. So whatever decision you make, it's got to be your decision. A friend who is here to stay, they will stay with whatever who you become. They'll become your friend. And she was like, we're talking about this girl, her friend. She goes, oh, she doesn't hang out with me anymore. It's like, oh, how so? Because remember, people come and go. So that's what it is, mommy.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Like, okay. That was me, lost for words. It was like, okay,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
What can you say? It's like, wow, yeah. That is so, it's a really grown up, mature way of looking at it and accepting
yeah,
friends do come and go and
yeah. Friends
yeah.
do come and go. And I always tell her that every decision that you make, it should
Mm,
not be made based on your friend,
yeah.
because that friend is here for now, and God will have their a different assignment for them. They will leave.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do? Are you going to keep changing your mind? So stick to what you do
Mm, mm,
and grow on that thing, and your friends will celebrate with you. Your true friends will stay
yeah,
around.
they will. And
Yeah.
you don't need a lots of friends. If you've just
No.
got one or two true friends that stay with you through thick and thin and, are there, they're worth their weight in gold. They really are. And you can be out of touch for a while, but when you meet up again, it's like time never was. That's the magic of, great friends. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
so
don't be afraid to rewrite your life, your story.
no, that's right. And something else, if you find that you're sort of coming up against obstacles, you're wanting to introduce something new, instead of sort of asking that question, why won't they listen? You could also ask yourself, how can I speak their language and show them why this matters? And this is what I've realized, that actually what I've been doing all these years, because part of me has been making myself wrong for lots of things, for not doing lots of things. I've been comparing with other people, the journeys they've been on and what they've done. But what I realized was that I have spent time in so many different groups and organizations, and I've learned to understand their language and understand what they're saying and the words they use, even though it's all English. Every group has been English. They just have a different way of saying it, a different set of words. It's like, I'm sat there going, but you're saying the same as this other group that I'm in, or this, So I've now learned to be able to listen to what someone's saying and go, okay, they're speaking that language, even though it's still English, and I can be comfortable and use that language, and we're in communication, we're talking. And so that's what I've been doing all these years, and I now need to acknowledge that. And something you were saying earlier, Nomsa, about everything that I've done, I've done a lot. And it's not just now, it's over the years, and it has had a purpose.
Yeah, it's just
And
acknowledging and giving yourself a tap. Some people don't bother to do nothing. So I
yeah,
always say those who do something,
mm.
give
But
yourself some.
understanding someone else's language and the words they use,
Yeah,
if you can do that, because it's not just about understanding them, it's about you being able to use them as well, because they may be words that don't sit on your tongue very well. They're not words that come to you naturally because it's not your way of using the English language, but it's their way. And the more you can be comfortable understanding it, but also being able to speak it, the more you are understood by a lot more people. And you can get into, it's getting into their world. I love that phrase, get into their world, and you can meet them where they're at. And the one, this quote, I love this quote. It says, the one who's the most flexible controls the conversation. So once you get in there and are talking, you can start leading and have a dance with it, you know, rather than butting up heads thinking, why won't they listen to me? Why don't they understand me? Poor me. That's a great story to tell, isn't it? Nobody understands me. Oh, yeah.
People will never understand your language unless you first understand it.
Yes.
Because once you understand what you do, you must do it, people follow. But if you try to make them understand it and you start fighting yourself and like, why don't they understand it? Just leave them behind. They
Yes.
will understand it.
Yeah. And that's a great point, because it's knowing when to move on.
Yeah.
It's knowing when, okay, you're not going to get through. Maybe you need to move on for them to be able to see what's possible. They can't hear you because they're more visual. So they need to see. And if they don't, even that, it's like, yeah, leave them behind. They'll either come back up and follow you, or they won't. But yeah, don't be held back. Allow yourself to move forward, but certainly understand your own language. Yes, and listen to yourself and know what it is that you are wanting to share and talk about, and what the benefits of it really are. That's the key. It's not, I've realized over the years, it's not what I do. It's not what technique I use, or what skill set I use. It's the benefits. It's what is the transformation that I help people go through. That's the bottom line. And I don't need to go, well, I do a bit of this and I do a bit of that, or I'm trained in NLP, I'm trained in brain gym, or I don't, it's that's irrelevant. I've got a Bachelor of Science in mathematics. The only people that need to know that would be if I was going for a teaching post.
Yeah.
Nobody else needs to know that for me to be able to say, I help writers escape the grip of writer's block and experience free-flowing writing. You know, that's what I now do. And I just bring in all the things that I've done and skills I've learned over the years and experience. So if people want to know, that's where the conversation then opens up. They say, well, how do you do it? Then you can go into that a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it's more about, they want a solution. They want to know that someone can improve something. And even those that are stuck and tied into that fixed mindset and tradition or whatever it is, again, address their fears. And if it doesn't work, move on. Move on.
Yeah.
They were in your life to learn something from, to teach you something. And so just learn the lesson.
Yeah, there are people in our lives that put them in place for them to be angels in everything we do. And when their job is complete, their assignment is complete, which means they need to go somewhere else and help the other person. So we always have to have gratitude of letting people go and be willing to rewrite our own story. And like you said, Carol, and never make yourself wrong in the things that you do. And understand your identity. Who are you as a person? Like myself, you can see I love to dance. I'm a love of harmonies. So I was talking to Elisa when we were filming last Wednesday, and he's looking at me, goes, The dancing gnomes, and I was like, yeah, what does a love harmonist mean to you? And he was like, actually, I love it. I love your character. And he was like, you're actually very smart. I was like, yeah. So I had to work. As like, it's not me actually. Me, I communicate with God to guide me through, to bring out that best in me that is hiding and get rid of my fear. Sometimes I ask God to swap. Let's swap minds. I need to get it. You can ask God to swap your mind with him.
Oh, stop your
Swap.
mind.
Yeah.
Swap.
Let's exchange. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You can ask actually God to exchange your mind with his mind so you can make the right decisions, or if you're whatever you're struggling with, if it's forgiveness or if finding that breakthrough of the person you want to become, you can ask him. That it means that you want to connect him, you want him to connect your mind with you so he can guide you through what you are meant to be doing. And you have to mean it, because when you mean it, he might guide you to the things that you've never expected. You'll be like, me doing that? I don't think so. So yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that voice saying you're going to write a book, and me going, no, I don't
Yeah.
think so. But
Yes.
gosh, we're the journey I've been on since. And I went, okay, show me the way.
Yeah. So yeah. I've got my friend, we meet
Yeah.
up on Monday. We always encourage each other to pray. And when she gets a breakthrough, she's like, I've been praying nonstop, but I did not pray for this big breakthrough, but I don't know how. I'm like, just, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, you can ask God to help you, because like on our own, sometimes we struggle.
Yeah.
So you can ask for his hand to guide you through, but you have to be prepared for his changes when he guides you through. Because he knows who you're meant to be.
Yeah.
And we are all unique as well. Like you said, everything we do in life is so unique and it makes us stand out. We just have to appreciate it and have gratitude of this is the person that I am. Just embrace it. I just get so annoyed with my friends sometimes, or the people around me. They make decisions, they do them. And when I meet them next time, they're doing something else. I'm like, what happened to that thing you were doing? Oh, that thing. They tell me 27 stories why it didn't work out. I'm like, stick to one thing. When they
Yeah.
meet to someone or they watch a YouTube channel, they go and change whatever they want. They're like, just stand still. Or they do exercises, meet them, they're no longer doing them because they put on 1 pound and they feel they've let themselves down. But that's part of life.
Yeah.
Ups and downs. It means
Mm-hmm.
some days you're good,
Yeah.
some days your things are bad. It's life. I don't know
It
what you
is
think,
ups and
Carol.
downs, as you say. There's
Yeah.
ups and downs, and it's and there's things. Times it seems like things are getting worse, or they are moving, stepping backwards, or you're not moving forward in some way. And yes, you might put on extra pounds, but then it's going, okay, accept that. And what can I now do to continue my journey if, wanting to take weight off? What is it I can do? And if you still can't address it, you're still putting weight on, then keep doing the same thing is definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing to expect something, a different result. Go inside. What's going on inside? What's the emotion that's driving you away from the goal that you want? What's that fixed mindset telling you that has you get away from the goal that you want? Is it saying, oh, I don't deserve that, or no, I can't go there, or whatever it is, address that. And that's where you can reach out, to us, because that's what we're here for. We can help you with that mindset that will help you re-steer that ship, come back on track. Because, airplanes, ships, they're never on track for the whole time. They're wavering back and forth, but they just keep coming back. They know where they want to be. So it's knowing where you want to be and allowing yourself to just slightly go off course sometimes, but have that guiding system to bring you back on track. And that's why we're here. That's how we can help you. So do reach out if you want some support and help to get back on track. And I'm just going to give, I think we're running out of time here. So
Yeah.
that's my final words of advice are, allow yourself to go off track and come back on track, find a way. And there's a lovely quote I've got: the greatest barrier to change is the belief that the old way is the only way. True progress comes when we are open to new possibilities. So allow your mind to open. And I'd love what you were saying, Namsa. Swap your mind, ask, God to swap your mind, because what you're actually asking for is access to the infinite possibilities. And when you connect with that, it's like, wow, it's a whole new world. You go, whoa, how come I didn't know this before? And then be willing to take action. So, lead by example, not force. Speak their language. Find some common ground so it feels like it's an evolution and you're not disrupting them or making them wrong. And just create small wins, small manageable shifts that end up as being something big, and it's not something too big that's overwhelming. So and be prepared to move on. Be prepared to move on. So what about you, Nom? So what would you like to leave our listeners with?
For me, I'll leave you guys with like what Pero Ann said before: don't compare your life with anyone. Be willing to rewrite your own story, and don't try so hard to fit in with people. People follow you when they understand you. First, you've got to understand yourself and become that woman or man that God created you to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple, but it's hard to create that habit.
Yeah.
So if you guys are watching us from YouTube, please do subscribe, be part of the family. And if you are watching us from Facebook, we have two groups, Diversity Talk Shows and Unique Billionaire Mindset. Please do join the groups, be part of the family, and like our videos, and please do share. We appreciate you in advance, everyone. God bless LinkedIn. Everyone, we love you.
Bye.